Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to share a story from our part of the world with you all. So, my name is Ali. I'm the senior principal technologist here at Code for Pakistan. I really wish I was there in person, but a huge shout out to Gemma and the rest of the TICTeC team. Uh, Despite the collective efforts, I was not able to secure a visa on time. So here we are. Um, so we're going to talk about how we discovered the need for building a system like Numainda, a democracy-powered, a constitution and election law specialist that utilizes AI to simplify legal matters for citizens. So we'll start off with a short story. All right. So this was back in before elections last year. We were meeting this organization called Patan to discuss some areas of collaboration between us. So Patan is a social development organization that solely focuses on election monitoring. And we wanted to see if there was any synergy between us. So it was supposed to be a regular 1 hour meeting ended up becoming 5 hours long because we uncovered a black hole of education and legal awareness that people don't possess because, and we'll see in a bit, like why is that the case? What I personally realized was that as an ordinary citizen of Pakistan, I have no awareness of the laws passed in the parliament. These are the laws that are shaping my destiny, but I have no idea what's getting passed. And by the time I find out, it's too late. There's nothing I can do about it. So we identified a problem. Uh, this green book that you see here, this is the Constitution of Pakistan, and uh, you get to see this a lot in offices of lawyers, in different family shelves. Some people have them in their home, but it contains 222 pages of constitutional text that is impossible to traverse easily for somebody who has no specialization in law. So the information is scattered inside it, and people struggle. We've seen that, and that's why citizens are so disconnected with the very laws that govern their lives. So we set out on a user research journey to figure out what's the solution. How can we bring this awareness or this education to the citizens? And we ended up by thinking, let's build a chatbot, and we'll see how it evolved into a chatbot, how we got here. But these are some of the points that made us, curious. Like, is the chatbot really a good solution? So, from the people we spoke to, from domain experts like Patan or professors and Nust who've been working on election technology, we figured out that citizens avoid legal help because they think it's too complex and too costly. Uh, all of this information is scattered across multiple sources on different websites, different books, different literature, and it's impossible to just piece it together on your own. There's a huge language barrier. The legal jargon is complex, and a layman cannot understand it. And I mean, we spoke with a few lawyers, and in their own words, they mentioned that it takes them hours to research basic constitutional lookups because this information is not easily accessible. So, based on this, and another very interesting trend that we saw especially during the elections in Feb 2024, Pakistan is not behind in Twitter usage. There's like 4.6 million, more than 4.6 million Twitter users, and uh, based on the analysis we've done, 75% of the trends, the topics from Pakistan are political or constitutional. So that proves the fact that people do want this knowledge, or they do want to talk about it. They do want to discuss this. And two specific events in recent history that further solidified this thought of ours. April 2022, there was a no confidence motion passed in our parliament. That was like peak activity. More than 100 million tweets across that topic, from experts to citizens, asking or explaining stuff. Then in February 2024, the general elections, after that, another massive spike of Twitter users, which affected some of our social platforms in Pakistan as well, which I will cover in the next few slides. So, based on this hypothesis, based on this data, we knew what we had to build. So, we built Numainda. So Numainda is a Urdu term for representative. So it's like you have your own representative who can translate complex legal jargon from the constitution, from the election laws of Pakistan, or the bills that are getting passed in our constitution, sorry, in our parliament right now, make them easier for everybody to understand. So Numainda is not just a chatbot; it also contains summaries for the constitution, the different bills that are getting passed, as well as the proceedings of the parliament. I have a short demo here that I'll show you, and it's built on top of retrieval augmented generation. It has that knowledge base as a vector, and if you see here, I'm going to ask three kinds of questions, and it's not going to use the web or anything. It's going to use whatever is inside its knowledge. So this is a very common question we've seen people ask just to test. And this information inside the Constitution is spanned across different pages. Basic rights of a citizen. If I was to go and try to find it from that book, I would be having a hard time. Then another question we see often people ask, and not a lot of people know this, how many seats are there in the National Assembly? And Numainda, because it has scanned the election laws, it has all of that available as vector indices. It's very easy for it to go and fetch that data, and not just the federal, but it also brought back the provincial seats. And then similarly, there was a very recent bill that got passed in the parliament, which was an amendment basically to how the judges of the Supreme Court are appointed. So this bill is very cumbersome for somebody like me to understand. I will not understand it if I read it, but Numainda makes it super, super easy for me to digest this information. So um, now, like we started, Numainda was not originally meant to be a chatbot. That's not the vision we had for it. Uh, the original inspiration came from what you see right now on Twitter. There's a trend like people are fact checking information using Grok. That's exactly what our theory was. Like folks want to bring Numainda into their conversations, especially when talking about elections or constitution. So here's my amazing colleague Amna asking Numainda back in last year when Numainda was still working on Twitter, how many amendments have been made to the Constitution? And back then there were 25 amendments. Now there's 26. So Numainda answered her. That was the vision. Uh, but there was a huge challenge right after we launched this. We made this live. We started getting some traction. People started to know about it, asking questions. But after the elections, Twitter got restricted in our country. And because of that, because we were so dependent on Twitter, Numainda was no longer sustainable. It would not work. So the solution was to uh, redeploy it as a web app. There was no other platform like that was the most logical thing to do. So it's available on numainda.codeforpakistan.org. It's deployed on Vercel. Hasn't gone down so far. And folks who were using it on Twitter, since we had like a small WhatsApp group of people who were giving us feedback, it was very easy to let them know that now it's available over the web, and the rest is history. What makes what makes Numainda so special? Why do I think it's not just a chatbot? And you will see here. One, it's constantly available. You have either you carry a 222 pages a green book, leather binded, or you carry your phone and just open Numainda and ask the questions you need to ask. It talks not just in English, but it also supports Urdu, Roman Urdu and regular Urdu, and it really waters down the information. That's how we've instructed it to work, to really simplify the complex terms, to make people understand how it works. And our journey so far has told us that one thing we know for sure there is untapped demand because people have limited access to this knowledge. So the pilot phase told us and got us some of our first time users who are now returning users, and that's when we figured out that during the pilot phase, the like either call it a blessing or a curse. Twitter got blocked, but it gave us the opportunity to expand the platform and as a result empower citizens. As you know, people, not just citizens, but people who've been people partnering with us, people like Sana, who's a government officer, and she uses Numainda daily. She's a power user. She summarizes bills, researches constitution, and acts as a parliament, a really bridge between the parliamentary process and the citizen understanding. She We built her a custom interface to go and upload new bills as they are passed. And she not only uploads them, she checks the summaries and the responses for accuracy and correctness, and really have her insider perspective. In her own words, she thinks that Numainda is helping her do her job faster. And imagine what a common citizen can do. So what I'm trying to say is like building tools like Numainda is not possible if you're just working on them from the outside. You need people like Sana to help you take them to the next level. And that's exactly what's happening here. She's been constantly opening GitHub issues for us, constantly giving us feedback, and now that she is able to upload bills and amendments, it's really taking Numainda's knowledge base to the next level. So I often I'm often asked by people like, it's just translating legal jargon. What's so special? Well, it is special because it's not just uh, doing translation. The one of the biggest challenges in Pakistan and countries like Pakistan is that this knowledge is always scattered. Uh, it's multiple sources. Like you'll find like documents across different websites. You will Some information will not be digital. It will still be in files or books somewhere. And the jargon is insane. Urdu, English, and very complex. And sometimes this information is also outdated or incomplete. So Numainda, by building its own vector database, we are bringing all this information together in one place. And since it's context aware, it builds on the conversation. Like if you're carrying a conversation and you ask questions around one particular thing, your next question, it will still, for your next question, it will still remember the context. So it knows where you're coming from and it will phrase the answers as such. And through contributors like Sana, it's continuously getting updated. And of course, it has some cultural sensitivity around sensitive topics. Now, the impact that we've seen for building a system like Nomanda, our partners like Patan are using it to simplify legal rights to people. I've heard multiple examples from their staff, from different colleagues who've just pulled Numainda on their phone, explained like just something from the constitution or from the laws or from a bill to somebody in their community. We've seen more than 500 people who've come to the website, asked queries, and 70% of them are first-time users. Some of them are returning users. And you could literally take what we have on GitHub right now, change the knowledge base to your country's legal documents or knowledge or database. It will work for you. So it's not just another app, it's the whole framework. That's how we've built it. You can literally just repurpose it for another country. It will work out of the box. You don't have to do any customizations or anything really, other than the UI part. So it has had a huge impact on the community. And what does that impact translate to? It's really a step towards building a digital democracy. And the way I see it, or the way we see it, digital democracy has four key components. Number one is informed citizenry. Uh, like it's pretty simple. Democracy only works when people understand their rights. And our 500 plus users are proof of that. Then, of course, you need technology, a very important layer. It's not to replace democracy, it enhances it. This is where you bridge the gap between government processes and citizens. And people like Sana, they are, the best examples for this. Then building it as a redeployable open source framework, you build a scalable model that can adapt to multiple different kinds of legislation, not just federal legislation, provincial. It could do that, and you can constantly evolve it. And of course, having systems like Numainda around really make this information accessible and promoting digital rights. A person is more aware whether somebody can search my house without a warrant or not, or whether what rights do I have as a Pakistani citizen. So there's that, and all four of these, they are what constitutes a system like Numainda. Any system that is making information more accessible for a citizen is a step towards building a digital democracy and a more informed citizenry. Our future plans for Numainda, um, we have a huge data set that we've scraped from different sources, some 3,000 something documents that we are right now preparing to ingest into the knowledge base. This will really take it to the next level. We want to add support for more native languages, and we also want to include not just the federal legislation, but the provincial legislation as well, so that people can ask those questions. If we want to take it to different platforms, WhatsApp is very popular here in Pakistan. A lot of people use it. So that's one we are looking at right now. And of course, we want to build more partnerships with organizations like Patan. Um, Final words, just some thoughts that I wanted to share. Constitutional rights shouldn't require a law degree to understand. They should be as simple, as easy as picking up your phone and, finding the information you're looking for. Lucky for us, good time for us to be alive. With what AI is doing now, or it's capable of doing now, and the help of domain experts, we can bridge this gap very rapidly, and democracy as a result becomes more accessible, one conversation at a time. That's all I had. Thank you so much for having me.